I'm around 200 kilometers south of Paris, standing next to France's biggest and world's fourth largest radio telescope. This telescope is part of the enormous Nançay Observatory, which is located in the middle of the Sologne Woods. To find out more about this telescope and the other instruments that are part of this observatory, I am now joined by Jean-Mathias Griessmeier, who is the director of Nançay Observatory. Thank you very much for your time. Can you provide an overview of this observatory?
The Nançay Radio-Astronomical Observatory was founded in 1953. It's one of the three sites of Paris Observatory, one being at Paris, one in Meudon, and one here in Nançay. We have 150 hectares and 40 people who work on 5 different radio telescopes. We observe a number of different phenomena based on different telescopes and wavelength ranges which they can operate at. We have the Nançay Radio heliograph, which only observes the sun. It observes it every day, all day, when the sun is up. We have the Nançay decametric array, which is a bit further down that direction, which observes either the sun or Jupiter, depending on which is better observable in the sky. And then we have 3 multi-purpose telescopes which can observe on demand, depending on what scientists want to do, what observing plans they submit. Typical observing plans at the Nançay Radio Telescope, decimetric radio telescopes, are pulsars, galaxies or comets. On LOFAR and NENUFAR we typically observe also pulsars, radio recombination lines, galaxies, and we search for radio emission from extrasolar planets, which is one of the very hot topics in radio astronomy at the moment.
What have been some of the most significant scientific contributions of this observatory since its creation?
It's not simple to summarize 70 years of scientific research in a few sentences, but if I had to pick one example, I would take the probable discovery of gravitational waves at ultra-low frequency, which we have observed by looking at the time of arrival of pulses of a number of pulsars here at the decimetric radio telescope, combined with data from many other radio telescopes in Europe and in the world.
Can you tell us more about France's biggest radio telescope?
The decimetric radio telescope was inaugurated in 1965 by General de Gaulle, and just a few weeks ago we celebrated the 60th anniversary with personnel and scientists, so that was a very nice opportunity to relive some of the scientific discoveries we did. It is one of the major contributors to what we call the European Pulsar Timing Array, where different telescopes pool together their data in the search for gravitational waves which traverse the universe, deform space-time, and a single telescope is not enough to detect that, but by putting together different telescopes worldwide, we are very close to a real detection now.
And how big is it?
You can see that it is not the shape of a typical parabolic dish, but if it was a parabolic dish at same surface, it would be the equivalent of a 94-meter diameter dish, which would make it the second biggest in Europe. The telescope is built according to what we call the Krauss design, named after the engineer who developed this way of building radio telescopes. And it is the last Krauss design telescope left in the world compared to a fully flexible parabolic dish. It is a little bit less flexible in what targets it can observe at which moment, but it is much less expensive structurally. There's less moving parts. So what you have to imagine is that we observe a radio source in the south here, which sends its radio waves on this what we call the mobile mirror, because it can tilt around the central axis. Then the radio waves are reflected into what we call the spherical mirror, and because of its curvature, the spherical mirror not only reflects the waves but concentrates them. So the waves are concentrated in the middle of the telescope, where we have this focal cabin, which is mounted on a track so that we can compensate for the Earth's rotation. You have to imagine that Well, with the mobile mirror we can aim at different elevations, but we cannot compensate for the azimuthal movement, the Earth's rotation, and instead of doing that we move the receiver which is in the center of the telescope.